Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew Games, back with episode 44 of the Drew Games podcast. Joining me is my usual team of myself, obviously Drew, Desert Nord, my younger brother. Fuck, I forgot to unmute the screen and turn it up here so you guys can be heard. Hey Nord.
Hey there.
That's a little loud. That should be better. So, and of course, Joshy's here as well. Hello, my friend.
Hello. Morning, everybody.
Which is nobody yet, but before we get into anything, I do want to. There's a reason why I'm wearing a Broncos baseball cap for this stream. As earlier this morning, news broke, and I know this isn't gaming related, but it's something that needs to be said because it is a situation of sorts. A former longtime Denver Bronco has passed away, Demaryius Thomas, that being yesterday.
Yeah.
So with that being, yeah, I heard that just this morning while watching the NFL Network in the break room at work. So with that being said, remind me of what his jersey number was with the Broncos.
88.
So with that being said, we're going to take 88 seconds for a moment of silence for him and for his family. So then for the Thomas family to recognize the loss and mourn the passing of Black from Black & Decker, which it was Eric Decker and Demaryius Thomas, the two receivers that worked with Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos when they won the Super Bowl. So 88 seconds starting now, guys. And with that said, thank you, Demaryius Thomas, for all of your great football playing that you did for the Denver Broncos and in leading them to the Super Bowl title at the time.
The story there.
Yeah. So what happened?
The story there is that he had been suffering for over a year, apparently, with repeated seizures. And he happened to have one while he was in the shower.
That's terrible.
He fell, and they found him. He had severely injured himself. And essentially, he was already dead in the shower when they found him.
I'll get back to this in a sec. Have to say hello to someone in the chat, that being Emily Jefferson, who is Vera K-Tech. Thank you for being here. Sorry for you jumping in when we're remembering a football player who passed away before we get into why we're actually here to talk about video games. But when someone that we admire passes away, we will always try to remember their legacy and give them a moment of silence like we did for 88 seconds, which was his jersey number for the Denver Broncos when they won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. So, anyway, You were saying?
Yeah, I was just explaining the circumstances of his passing.
Yeah.
And there's no happy way to put it.
No, there isn't.
No. So
please rest in peace, DT. You've definitely earned it. It saddens me that you passed away younger than I am at 37. He was 33. So
yeah. Really sucks the way NFL players, get taken out these days.
Yeah. But anyway, once again, thank you, Demaryius Thomas, for all you've done for the game of football. And with all of that, anything you want to add, Joshy, before we get to why we're actually here?
Just trying to hear if it passed away, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not what I was hoping to hear today. I was hoping to hear like something good gaming related, but I went on break at work this morning and saw that, hey, Gaming or what's up? We were just recognizing the life of Demaryius Thomas, who we found out this morning passed away. So that's why I'm wearing my Broncos hat for him. And we gave him a moment of silence for 88 seconds, which was his jersey number when he played for the Broncos when they won the Super Bowl with him, Eric Decker, and Peyton Manning, and Orange Julius, as the tight end was nicknamed as well. But yeah. But with all of that in mind, now to get to what we're here for, the topics we're going to talk about today, PlayStation supposedly going to be competing with Xbox Game Pass. We'll be talking about that, Halo Infinite launch, and the headaches that did on launch day at first. The Matrix demo as it is, we'll discuss that because Joshy and I both messed around with that last night, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And the video game awards were last night to my surprise because I didn't know about it till like hours before it went live. So obviously I stayed up to watch that last night. But with all of that in mind, PlayStation 2 supposedly, according to reports, this is a leak. This has not been reported by Sony. This has been through leaks, so take it obviously with a dump truck assault. But reports are claiming the PlayStation to merge PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now to compete with Xbox Game Pass, and supposedly the release window of this is first quarter of 2022, so in the next few months.
Yeah, they've seen the writing on the wall in terms of the efficacy of their previous setup there.
And this, and the codename supposedly is codename Spartacus, of all things.
Yeah, they can always give it a silly codename.
And this was reported by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. So Jason Schreier usually isn't very wrong very often.
Yeah.
So this is a very reliable source. So when I say a dump truck assault, I mean more like a bottle assault at this point.
We don't have to doubt whether the story is true. We know it is.
Yeah.
It's reconfirmed and confirmed over and over now by 10 different sources.
Yeah, but also in the same article, it was alluded to that Sony is likely going to go by the name for this new service of merging Now and Plus together to just call it something that Sony fans have known for years since the PS3 days of PlayStation Plus. That's going to be the name.
Yeah.
Supposedly. So the name they've been using the entire time, which makes a lot of sense. So something that Microsoft needs to figure out when it comes to naming things.
Well, it's not like Sony couldn't sit there and take 10 minutes of their damn day to be like, let's think of a good idea. Let's think of a good name. It wouldn't take them that long.
Yeah.
Unless they're just complete idiots.
Yeah, well, it seemingly doesn't take Microsoft long to go from Xbox to Xbox 360 and then revert back to Xbox One and then go Xbox Series consoles. What's wrong with Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 3, Xbox 4?
Yeah, well, they just try to be creative. But as far as services go,
it being creative, they're mostly annoying with the names.
Yeah, as far as services go, bro, it ain't all that complicated.
Yeah. In terms of service, this is very good for PlayStation users going forward. So,
sure, because they're emulating a successful system.
Indeed.
They're emulating a successful Game Pass system.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're seeing that something else is working for someone else and going, let's do that.
Indeed.
They are a follower right now.
So as a PlayStation 4 user myself, hopefully this will be a thing also on PS4 and not just on PS5. Because if it's only a PS5, that'll piss off a lot of people. That
and defeat the point.
Yeah. But still, I've seen dumber shit in the gaming industry because I've been following a lot of this shit for 20 fucking years at least. And I've seen a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, if they made it only for PS5, then it'd be just as dumb as the FIFA people.
Remember all the stupid shit for the Kinect?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go. So with that in mind, speaking of stupid things, Halo Infinite's launch was on Wednesday. And Microsoft, you really need to communicate with your consumers better. Because it said noon. Most companies go Eastern. Apparently, you went noon Central for some reason, which I don't mind because I'm from the Central time zone, but it throws everybody fucking off, even me, from the Central time zone, of all places. That... and none of us had any indication that we had to download something to finally get to download the fucking campaign so we can play the fucking thing.
Yeah.
A little communication, please. Joshy, because you were there going through the same headache I was, except for yours went faster.
Yeah, it took me about 2 hours to go ahead and install it, though. Like, basically, what happened was... It was 10 o'clock my time, which I'm in Arizona time. And Mountain Standard Time. I was like, okay, so it should be up at 10 o'clock. But like, nope, I'm up at 10 o'clock. And about 11 o'clock, all my buddies were like, okay, my update's here. And then basically it was like a 4 gig update, a really small update. And then once you updated that, you had to go in the game and basically go through the menus and go to the campaign. It'll say, like another 25 gig update for the campaign. So you had to go ahead and press install that, and basically it's just kind of a headache with it, though.
Yeah, to say the least.
It took me about 2 hours. Yeah, it took me 2 hours to go ahead and install that.
Took me about 4. But with the campaign itself, it's actually damn good, so...
No, it is good, but the only thing I do not kind of like is basically you do get vehicles, but for where the stuff that you need to get is sometimes like up on high mountains and stuff. So basically, you have to either grapple can go up. So basically, half the time that I'm playing, I'm basically running around just on my feet, not using any vehicle.
I personally don't mind that. I'm more annoyed by the fake Cortana character.
Yeah. I believe they call her a weapon.
What was that? I couldn't hear you over somebody coughing.
I believe they call her the weapon.
The weapon?
A weapon.
Yeah, I heard you. Haven't gotten that far yet. Well, that's interesting.
No,
we'll see where her story goes then. But
I do like her though. But the only thing is that they covered up the women.
Well, which most companies do nowadays.
Yep.
I say most outside of indie developers. Which does remind me, I have 2 games to show you guys that I picked up on the way home from work today that were quite cheap. So I'll get to that kind of at the end once we've gotten through everything else that we got to talk about here. Speaking of cheap shit, the Matrix demo showing off Unreal Engine 5. It's free for a reason, folks. It has less content than Battlefront 2015. And that's saying something because that had basically nothing, I thought, until I played this. No, this has nothing. At least there's like shit to do in Battlefront 1 from EA and DICE. There's basically nothing to do in this demo other than hop in a car, crash it, repeat. Effectively. Although the opening is very...
There is a little bit of shooting.
Yeah, but it's on. Yeah, but it's the opening and it's on rails and it's a waste of fucking time. So my recommendation for the demo is, unless you're a real big tech head and just want to see what the future of game engines looks like, don't waste your fucking time with it.
Yeah, it's basically just that demo though. Like, I tried it. I'm like, okay, basically just get in the car and just walk around, or just drive around, or get a drone. It's just like it's just basically a big tech demo.
Indeed. So with that in mind, the Game Awards. Unless Nord wants to add anything about the tech demo for the Matrix.
No, there's nothing there.
All right, so the pre-show, they start with a world premiere of a trailer for Tunic, and there is a release date for it now, finally, because it feels like we've been wondering about Tunic or seeing demos for it or whatever for like 4 or 5 years at this point, but it's coming out on March 16th, so like in the next like 2 or 3 months or so. And according to reports that I have, it's supposed to be in Game Pass at launch. So that's another good thing. Anything? Anyone want to add to the discussion about Tunic?
Nope, never heard of it though. So
it's
gonna be on Game Pass.
It's effectively gameplay style of the early Legend of Zelda games. So
okay.
It really does. It really does look like the first gen of Legend of Zelda,
which is very interesting.
With better graphics.
Yeah, so it's highly interesting. So after that, there was Games for Impact. So here we start with the woke shit. They gave it to Life is Strange: True Colors. Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Anyone want to add anything?
Yeah, that's a category that I think is dubious to begin with.
Yeah. Joshy?
No, I'm good.
Okay. After
it's a tragedy.
In more ways than one. And then we got a world premiere for a game called, as the trailer said, Inspired by Real Events, a game for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming. No release date yet. It was just a teaser for it, effectively. But there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming. And does anyone have anything for that?
Other than it's horrific.
It's got a good challenge to go against though, because they got Dead by Daylight. That's pretty good too, and they have Ash vs. the Evil Dead coming out as well.
I believe I believe at one point in history or several there were like some Saw games, right? Or was that just the movies that I'm thinking of?
And probably just
Saga game that. There was one Saga game that came out though. I don't know playing it though.
I didn't play it either.
Yeah.
But still. Speaking of games, to quote Ryan Kinnell, Homeworld 3 coming in 2022. Never played the previous two Homeworlds. Don't even know what it is. Anyone else?
Yeah. I don't know what it is either.
Me either.
After that, there's a world premiere, or should I say there was, for the Expanse TV show, but a Telltale game version of the Expanse. So Telltale's back in business, evidently. Anyone got anything for Telltale series The Expanse? I'll take that. I'll take those a no then.
Well, I think it's one of those really, really like
a niche style developers. Yeah.
The only thing I can really say about it is like this is definitely right up the alley of a certain type of gamer.
Yeah, because
really not all that broad of an
audience. I remember playing a certain number of Telltale games, and I did like them, like the Batman Telltale series. I really liked that. I played, I think, all of the Walking Dead games from Telltale, and that was pretty much it.
I played about half of the Wolf Among Us. That was pretty good. There was also Tales from the Borderlands. I
remember playing one episode of that, or at least I think it was one episode of it.
But they had that controversy a long time ago where they basically like let go. I guess they were supposed to close the company down or something, if I remember correctly.
I think they went bankrupt, and then they were in the middle of developing or finishing the sequel to the original Batman Telltale series, and they had gotten like 2 or 3 episodes out, but they had like 2 more to go, and they went belly up before they finished them. So like another studio had to finish them for them. Otherwise, they were going to have a major fucking lawsuit on their hands of not finishing a product they promised to finish at that point. So that was the controversy with Telltale at the time. And I was one of the people that had pre-ordered that game, so I was there, a part of the customer base that was waiting for them to finish the product when they were going belly up. So, at the time, but the Expanse is getting something from Telltale. There was a world premiere, or should I say, another trailer for a game called Babylon's Fall, which is coming March something of 2022. So another March game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they gave the award for best audio design to Forza Horizon 5. I have no problem with Forza getting that.
Yeah, and on that, by the way, the one that bothered me even more was the best music winner,
which we will get to in a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's related. I mean, maybe technically there's a difference there in regards to.
Well, there apparently is, because there are 2 different categories for the video game awards hosted by Jeff Keighley.
No, I know, but let me expound on it for a second.
Yeah.
Best audio winner, or best audio design winner, being Forza Horizon 5 is kind of like a shoo-in sort of a thing, because in very few types of games do you get quite as much music time as you do in the racing games.
So
in the racing games, you get all the time in the world for music. You know, so it's almost like if you were to put up any racing game into that category, it would almost be a front runner automatically because of how they play.
So
And so I kind of almost feel it isn't fair.
So here,
You know?
So here were all of the nominees for this category. It was Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal.
Yeah.
So if not Forza Horizon 5, then which one of the other 4 games do you think it should have gone to then?
Well, I mean, I feel like they didn't take into consideration the use of the music, which is sad. You think that would be like primary. Because all Forza Horizon 5 does is put the music throughout the game, essentially. When you're racing.
Keeping in mind that they have a separate category for that. There's just us audio design, kind of like we have the category of sound effects, is basically what we call it.
No, I know, but
that's basically what this is.
Where you decide to place your music is half the battle with the audio design. And my point here I'm trying to make is that, well, I know, I mean, that is like the majority of what they mean by that.
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
I guess I see your point.
Because, like, say, if you're playing a game that's like a fighting game or whatever, and you've got music in the title screen, you've got music in the loading screen, and music in the fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities in a game like that, too. But you still have to do it right.
Yeah.
Whereas in Forza, it's just like, there's going to be music in the title screen, there's going to be music in every screen leading up to the races, and there's going to be music throughout the races. So, like, the whole game is just music covered. And comparing that to some other games, you know, like Resident Evil Village, I mean, you're going to have one main theme song or background song for all of the lead titles into the actual gameplay. And then maybe throughout some parts of the gameplay, you'll have different moments where music comes into it, but it's much, much more limited.
That's true.
So, and that's the way a lot of games are.
Joshy, anything?
But racing games have the shoe up of having music throughout.
Yeah. Anyway, Joshy, anything to add about Forza Horizon 5 getting the award for Best Audio Design?
Well, I guess they kind of deserve it, but then it just, like what your brother was saying, it basically is kind of like unfair. It's basically, yeah, you got like, say, Resident Evil has like a one main tone, and like.
And keep in mind the other ones were Returnal, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Deathloop as well. So, of these games, I've played only 2 of them, and I probably would give it just based on the sound of the cars in Forza at that point. But keep in mind, when I think of audio design, I also think of the sound effects is basically how I see it. And on that...
Sure, and the reason I didn't make that point, bro, is that every single game that's made has that.
Yeah. So therefore, that is a better gauge of that aspect of the game. Which game has the best of that? And of these games, based on what I played, I would have given it to Resident Evil Village for best audio design at that point.
Yeah, and like games like Ratchet and Clank, where you've got a lot of funny sounds to include in the game, funny moments, you know, weapons that are supposed to sound kind of unusual, all sorts of goings on, crazy portals and stuff. Lots of chances for you to put, you know, unique music or unique audio into the game. You'd think a game like that would be the more front-running candidate if that's the focus, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. The next...
But I feel like they didn't lean that direction. So
the next one
they probably
is
just went with the easiest choice.
Best
because I mean the sound of a car engine is something they could just insert in a game. A given model of a car has a known car engine sound, you know. So
and especially if they just poured it from the last game too.
Exactly, it's not particularly complicated. and it doesn't require that much creativity. You know, it's just pretty basic.
Next up was
So basically, they just went with their basic downs. They're like, all right, we'll just go with this one though. The easiest choice
do the cars
to choose.
Do the cars in Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5 sound dramatically different? Did I miss something?
No.
You know? Because, I mean,
well, it
you
depends.
can't just always win because, big car sounds must be winner.
The car sounds likely sound different between 4 and 5 depending on if the driver is slamming their hand in the car, because in 4 they're not going to sound they're not going to sound as soy as the drivers in 5.
Yeah, well, good point there, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, in moving on after that joke,
and I bet the game has a better bump to it, especially if you're bashing your head on the steering wheel as you're trying to drive.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway, to the main show, because that was the end of the pre-show when they did the best audio. They kicked it off with like a performance by Sting, whom hasn't been relevant since I was a preteen, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But after that, the first award that they did for the main show was Best Indie Game, which they gave to Kenneth Bridge of Spirits, which I've played for the PS4, which is a great game. But all the games that were nominated are as follows: 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Encryption, Kenneth Bridge of Spirits, and something called Loop Hero. So of those games, the only one I'm familiar with 3 of them by name, but I've played one of them. So I'm familiar with 12 Minutes. I remember seeing that introduced at like Summer Games Fest or something like that, or like at E3 one year, like 2 years ago, I think. And then
Yeah.
And then there's Death's Door, but I've played Kenneth Bridge of Spirits, and yeah, they picked the right winner of this category, in my opinion.
Yeah, none of the other nominees in this category besides Kenneth Bridge of Spirits had any chance.
Yeah.
I mean, with Kenna there, none of the other games had any chance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was just like a landslide. That was like 70% of the votes, I'm quite sure.
Indeed.
No.
And then after that, we got a gameplay reveal of Hellblade 2 Senua Saga. And Jeff Keighley was hyping the gameplay for it. Like, you're not going to believe that this is actual gameplay of this game. I didn't believe it at first when I saw it, as he said word for word. But they're effectively the transition between cutscene and gameplay. There is no transition. You go right from cutscene to gameplay in it. And
I need to
it helps the immersion, I'm sure.
Yeah. And secondly, the graphics are what we expect from Ninja Theory, based on what we saw from the gameplay. The photorealism type of thing that Hellblade is known for. It's there. And this is going to be running on the next-gen systems when it comes out.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got a release date yet because I don't have anything written down for it. But just the fact that we saw something now is actually encouraging for when it might come out. I'm willing to predict like early 2023 at this point, though, because we saw this here. Anyone else disagree?
Yeah. No, I don't have any disagreement on that.
I just can't wait for it though. Like I played the first one, I didn't get all the way through. I got like halfway through, I believe. Not sure though, but it was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it.
But it was still great. It easily, the actress that plays the main character, I believe the character's name is I hope I say it right, Senua. right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the actress that plays her definitely should have won Best Performance that year when she won it. She rightfully got that award when they gave that to her for her performance in Hellblade 1. But after that, we got the teaser for Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dreams. A side note, Quantic Dreams is now independent and not solely beholden to Sony now. Which means that this game, in theory, could be coming to outside of the Switch, likely PC, so Epic, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. In all likelihood, which it should. And keep in mind, the Quantic Dream is the developer that made the very popular, even to this day, Heavy Rain. Oh, and also a side note, I just remembered, they also made Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's that. So they made two great games for Sony. So this is a great developer to have making any kind of Star Wars game. So at least in my opinion. Anyone else want to add anything about Star Wars Eclipse?
Well, I think I may have mentioned
Off screen
that I think it's all post-mortem with Star Wars at this point.
We'll see. Like I said, Joshy?
I'm just kind of done with Star Wars and all the debacle of this, like that though. But just hopefully, if I see gameplay and actually looks good, I'm gonna have to give it a try because I know what is it, the last one that just came out. What is it?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Yep.
Yeah, Fallen Order was pretty good. I didn't finish it. Both actually pretty good.
Yeah, it actually kind of depresses me that that's actually probably the best that the Star Wars game can be post Disney.
Well, certainly under EA, who is evidently done with Star Wars. Thank fucking God. At this point, because evidently all reports from EA is they don't want to keep paying for the license. Well, good, because I didn't want you to have it from the very, very fucking beginning. So, in fact, I don't think anyone did. But with that in mind, there was another teaser for a game from the developer called Monolith. It's a Wonder Woman game.
Of course.
So there's that. Anyone got anything for Wonder Woman, or should I get to the best performance nominees that they?
If I were them, I wouldn't even bother with the Wonder Woman game. Considering how far into the dumps the movies have taken us with it.
So, with Joshy, anything to add about Wonder Woman?
Well, the thing with the Wonder Woman is it going to be basically how like the Avengers was, like basically.
I do know that
I wouldn't be surprised if it were a man.
They did. They
also, what is it like? It's going to be their stunt double of Wonder Woman.
They did reveal what what Wonder Woman is supposed to look like in the game, and she looks a lot like the actress that played her in the recent movies. Yeah, her. So that's somewhat encouraging. The character model is going to look good at least, because it's going to look like Wonder Woman that we recognize at this point, as opposed to recent Marvel games.
There was a glimmer of. I was gonna say there was a glimmer of hope with that, by the way, but then it came out with 1984, and man,
true.
What a shit show.
That's true. So with that in mind, the best performance category. So the nominees were The actress that played Alex Chen from Life is Strange: True Colors, of course. There's Esposito, who played Costello from Far Cry 6, the big bad villain. Then there's Jason Kelly, who played Colt Vaughn from Deathloop. Then there was Maggie Robertson, who played the vampire lady from you guys know the game.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I was trying to
Lady
say.
Demetrescu.
And then the actress that played
Demetrescu, I was trying to remember.
Yeah, and then the actress that played Juliana Blake from Deathloop. And they gave it to Vampire Lady.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Because frankly, that was the most impactful character of the year
Yeah.
in video games, I would think.
So I think all three of us, can I speak for you, Joshy, when I say that the right performer, or should I say voice actor or actress in this case, won? Joshy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So big props to Vampire Lady and the actress that played her. She did a very wonderful job there. After that, we got a announcement of Alan Wake 2 coming in 2023. Anyone want to chime in there about Alan Wake?
The only thing I said before was that it's another one of those niche games, and so people who are already fans will love it probably, but it'd be hard to get into it at this point.
Joshy?
No comment.
All right. Then we'll move on from there. Let me check, see if anyone's saying anything in the chat. Nope. All right. We'll get to Best Action now. So they, sorry. There's two other things first. The actor that played Sonic from the most recent Sonic movie came out and announced that Sonic 2, the movie, is happening. And it's coming out in theaters April 8th of the upcoming year. So
they do have a trailer that just have a trailer from the number 2 that just came out. I saw it this morning and it looks really good.
That was the trailer that they showed with the announcement at the Game Awards too.
Yeah. To be fair, they really turned it around with the movie there. That's what they really did.
I didn't see the first one, but I should. I'm actually considering picking up the Blu-ray to watch it now. After
it was a massive success, but only because they pulled a 180.
Yeah, but
no, but it was good. The first one was good though.
The funnest part about the announcement was
when they first released. We all
I
was gonna say we all remember what happened. They released their original trailer, and everyone was so freaked out by it, going, "What even is this? It's horrifying!" And the movie director and the art people went back to the drawing board on Sonic and went, all right, let's make him absolutely to the T from the game, exactly the same.
And there was
resounding success after that.
And there was a couple of things from the announcement. The voice actor of Sonic from the film actually made a comment about thanking the fans for pointing out that Sonic sucked at first. So there was a callback to that. And then Jim Carrey was on screen because he wasn't actually there. And he did a whole bit about talking about his grandfather choking him, going, "Don't do that," like in typical Jim Carrey, like insanity fashion.
Yeah.
So Jim Carrey was kind of weird and funny, as he always is. But after that, we got Horizon Forbidden West trailer, another one. Anyone want to add anything about Horizon Forbidden West then? That hasn't already been said by us before? Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I can say is that with all the hype, it's got to be a good game. Otherwise, all this hype is crazy.
That's the redhead chick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her. The only thing I gotta add is what is it? I know like certain pictures that they released a while ago. It looks like that she gained weight, like they hit her. I'm not sure. So that's the only thing I gotta say. Is like, okay, can't have a cute girl anymore. They made her fatter or something. I don't know.
We'll see when the game comes out, because I generally judge the game by the game itself. But speaking of games, to quote Ryan Kinnell again, Best Action Award. The nominees were Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. In my opinion, I probably would have given it to either Far Cry 6 or probably, based on what I've seen other people playing, probably Back 4 Blood for Best Action. You guys?
Yeah, I have to agree. Returnal really is not the best action game in that nominee group. It's really not.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was another dumb winner.
Indeed. Excuse me, Joshy.
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
Fair enough. And then Destiny 2 is getting another expansion called The Witch Queen.
Is there gonna be another $50 for that?
I don't know yet. It's likely coming out at some point in 2022, but I think I missed the date for it. And then after
That's the thing about Destiny 2 though. Like when you had the original game came out, like they had that DLC and whatnot though, but then when they come out with another expansion, basically they take all the old stuff that was there and you can't play that stuff. You have to play new stuff, basically, and they bought content off unless you paid for it. So it's just like it's not fun anymore. So like do have a lot of content, yes, but like for the new seasons that come out, like all the old stuff you can't really play anymore. And basically they locked some stuff, like some story missions, stuff like that, unless you pay for it. Just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just greedy stuff right there.
Yeah. Excuse me. So
I know, like as of right now, it's going to be coming out of Game Pass though.
yeah, it will be. So unless you own I think the base game is free to play now, right? As far as I know.
So yeah.
So any expansion from there, you would likely have to pay for. Although I think like the first 2 or 3 expansions are included in the base game for free at that point. So, but I think it's called Into Light or something like that. You would have to buy at that point then, because that's been in Game Pass, but you're gonna have to buy that soon. So, but yeah, but then again, that's to be expected because Bungie isn't owned by Microsoft anymore, which still irritates me. But it is what it is. But speaking of fun games, Cuphead, a DLC island, coming June 30th, 2022. So the same month as my birthday. So, but just at the end of it.
Do we know if that's going to be? Do we know if that's going to be free DLC or do we have to pay for it?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, because I did DLC a year or two ago.
Pretty
DLC gonna be coming soon, and then yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the the last morsel or whatever the last DLC was for it was paid, right? For Cuphead.
I didn't know the DLC. I mean, the Cuphead had DLC.
Yeah, it does. There's a female character that gets added to the game. She's a part of the DLC. That was previously released for it.
I think that was paid DLC.
Okay. Then this likely is too. Then I'm willing to bet if the other one was, which is understandable because the game released at $19.99 at launch when it first came out, so that's understandable for paid DLC for a cheap game $20. So.
Mm-hmm.
So after that,
I didn't even finish it though. I was pretty damn tough.
I think I
almost
got
nobody
through the
finished the
first
game.
3 levels, but I'm still on the first island of it. So, yeah.
I mean, even the most hardcore gamers were like, "This game is effing brutal."
Yeah, it certainly was. Like I said, I got
So,
through, I think, the first
this
3
is
levels
like-
of it.
This is like Dark Souls with a smile on its face.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's happy to be that evil to you.
Although I shouldn't complain about Dark Souls because Dark Souls
Is
now
great.
that people have a better handle on Dark Souls, it's really not a good example of what I'm referring to.
Yeah, but with that in
But yeah,
mind,
Cuphead is brutal, man. Cuphead's brutal.
it certainly is. I was there at launch because I saw it was only $19.99 at launch. I'm like, a $20 game launching? Okay, sign me up. Because I was interested in Cuphead, but even more so for that cheap price. So I bought it at launch.
Being that I'm
at the time.
kind of like a completionist with games,
Yeah.
I probably would have PTSD with Cuphead by now if I played the hell out of that game.
Indeed.
I swear to God, I would.
Speaking of PTSD inducing, Sonic Frontiers was announced coming out for 2022. The best thing that can be said about this is exactly what they showed us. It's an open world Sonic game.
Yeah.
So when I said
I
PTSD,
don't know how I feel about that.
because the first thing that comes to my mind was Sonic and games in the last 15 years is Sonic fucking Free Riders.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to say is Sonic fucking Free Riders. And leave it at that. So when it comes to an open world Sonic game, do I expect it to work? Not likely.
Probably not.
But if it does,
Well,
then God help us, there's a hit waiting to be played here if it does work.
It flies in the face of the very basis of the whole thing anyway. So it's definitely an odd thing to even think about.
Yeah, an open world Sonic game. Because from the environment, it looks like it's trying to be Breath of the Wild, but a more realistic world, like what you expect a Series X to do graphically with the environment type of world. And then there's this blue fucking hedgehog. There's this blue cartoon hedgehog in it. I'm like, something's out of place here.
Honestly, seeing Sonic be made into an open world game is like seeing Death Stranding made into an arcade game. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Or seeing Death Stranding made into an actual real RPG. Even.
you know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. Certain games do not fit certain genres.
It flies right in the face of the very basis of the game.
Yeah.
So it's a dumb idea.
Yeah. So anything to add about Sonic Frontiers, Joshy, before we get to best art direction?
Any of the 3D World Sonics, I do not care for. The last 2 Sonics that were actually pretty good was Sonic Mania, which was really good. Sonic Generations was kind of good as well too.
Well, first of all, Sonic Mania was just basically a port of the original Sonic games effectively to modern consoles, which is why it worked.
Who wouldn't love that?
I like this, especially when it was in PlayStation Plus at one point, which is how I've played it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But either way. Best art direction. So the nominees for best art direction were The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Of those nominees, which one would you have given it to, Joshy?
Don't know.
Nord?
Well, I can't even speak to the Artful Escape game at all, really.
True.
But Kenna Bridge of Spirits looked good in the art category. the fact that Deathloop won, I think, is kind of interesting because I almost feel like they've sort of let the lines get blurred a bit between the way it plays and the art direction.
Now,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because the art direction to me on that game isn't extremely unique. How it plays is, but the art direction, I mean, it's okay, but this wasn't groundbreaking. So for Deathloop to win is kind of odd to me.
Same here. And in my case, I've played 2 of these 5. Kenneth Bridge of Spirits, obviously, I did on YouTube, and I didn't stream it at the time, but I have played some of Psychonauts 2 because it is in Game Pass. And of those 2 games, I probably would have given it to Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
For the best art direction.
At least I guess we can say that in this category, there's a debate to be had.
Yeah, there is. After that, we go into Player's Choice category, which is very interesting, and there is a major debate to be had here.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go back. Okay, guess I can't do that. Let me do this then. Where the fuck is it on these fucking tiles? Best action, best mobile, best indie, best ongoing, best role playing, best fighting, family, best sim and strategy.
I think it's right at the end.
That's esports event. No one gives a fuck. Esports coach. No one gives a fuck. Sports team. No one gives a fuck. Athlete. Best sports game. Most anticipated. Best debut for indie. Content creator of the year, which we have a category for that now. Best multiplayer. Sports racing. Best sim strategy. Family. Fighting. Role playing. Ongoing. Indie. Mobile. Fuck off. Community support, fuck off. Innovation and accessibility, fuck yourself. Best VR, AR, go fuck yourself. Best action adventure. Why do you need that twice? Games for impact, performance, design, music, direction.
It's almost like they had more nominees. It's almost like they had more nominees for the action category. It just couldn't bring themselves.
Here. Yeah. There's no nominees. It just says Halo's the winner. So Halo's the winner. Enough said, right?
Yeah.
So anyone want to talk about Halo again?
Well, we can definitely say that it appears that the whole enchilada is enjoyable.
Well, except the multiplayer at this point.
Yeah. There was some glitches
from my
and some
point of view.
issues.
The
Yeah.
multiplayer, in my opinion, is basically a love-hate relationship. It's good,
Yeah.
but then they do have.
And
They
it-
still need a lot of work to.
But it punishes you for playing it with the progression system.
Yep.
So basically,
And yes, other people have pointed out that
Yeah.
the hitboxes for damaging your opponent are a little sketchy.
yeah, because when, as I pointed out previously, when the most iconic game in the gun, the assault rifle Master Chief uses in the campaign consistently, you start out each level effectively with it most of the time in any classic Halo games. Basically does little more than tickle your the other player's nuts effectively in damage. You basically walk up to them and give them a reach around. That's as much damage as that gun does effectively.
Yeah, and the other thing that needs to be mentioned is the melee problem.
Yeah. But
which was making a lot of people angry.
But in the campaign, the melee is damn good.
Yeah. Well, I'm into multiplayer.
Yeah, well, fuck the multiplayer.
Okay, well.
That's my point of view of it until I hear that from like Joshy, for example, that they've actually replaced the progression system and fixed the fucking assault rifle.
Yeah, I'm already like level like 50, a little over 50 right now on my damn
Okay.
outpad.
So, with that in mind, the next award they gave out was the best music or score in a game, and the nominees were The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Near Replicant, and they gave it to Near Replicant. The two games that are most deserving of it, from my point of view, from the music, are far and away either Guardians of the Galaxy or Cyberpunk for the music. Yeah.
We should have a good soundtrack.
Yeah, Marvel's all about throwback and classic and oldie stuff.
Yeah.
Which is hard to hate.
Yeah.
And then Cyberpunk was all about diversity of music.
Yeah, which I listen to a lot of different music anyway. So Cyberpunk's music was like basically a music listener like me's almost wet dream at that point.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 27 was exactly the type of like extreme broad range you could ever ask for.
In everything, in the character creator, in the music.
Yeah. I just meant we were talking about music. I just meant in the music category.
Yeah.
You probably, no matter what kind of music you liked, you could find a playlist in Cyberpunk 2077 to listen to and enjoy.
Now, I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Near Replicant shouldn't have won, because I'm fine with Near Replicant winning this award, but not when you have nominated in at the same time Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Cyberpunk at the same time. That is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's actually one of many categories where Cyberpunk was in the running but didn't get anything out of it.
Because it got snubbed for whatever reason. Hatred for how it launched, I guess, and CD Projekt Red for lying so much about it, I assume. Which is kind of shitty to do
controversy
to a game.
The controversy has really hurt it so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indeed. Next up, we got. Do you have anything you want to add to best music category, Joshy, before we get to best? God help us, multiplayer.
I think Cyberpunk should have won it though. Cyberpunk. It's a good soundtrack. Loved it.
Yeah. I loved it as much as I love the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy. So like I said, I would have been over the moon happy if it was either Cyberpunk or Guardians winning that category.
If I may just add, we're talking about a game that essentially did the music perfectly.
Yeah.
And it would have been the absolute game of the decade if it had functioned properly.
Absolutely.
And then
it had that kind of hype. Speaking of games, best multiplayer. The nominees were Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, which launched into PlayStation Plus when it came out. I have it, have not played it yet. It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. So, of these games, I own two of them. I've played only one of them, that being Valheim. So, because of that reason, my only experience with any of them, well, I've watched a lot of people play Back 4 Blood, so I wouldn't be against that winning best multiplayer, but for me, I would go with Valheim for best multiplayer. Of these games that are nominated. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I really wish Valheim had been nominated for more things, but
Yeah.
I guess I would just say that I don't know as if that's what I think of when I think of that game the most. I mean, really, it's like okay, it's an aspect of the game, but that isn't the best aspect by far of the game. So
true.
It's kind of a weird thing for it to be nominated for.
It was, but It Takes Two wins it, so.
Of course it does. It Takes Two. It seems like It Takes Two was just the absolute shoe-in, and just so loved by the voters of this award show.
Yeah. It's basically
because it was cleaning up.
It's basically this year's Last of Us Part 2 when it comes to the awards, at least. But not to be compared with like the narrative of The Last of Us. Far from it.
They might as well call it The Last of Us Takes Two.
best. One of my favorite categories. Best narrative is up next. So the nominees were Deathloop, It Takes Two, God help us, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Of those games, which one would you have given it to, Joshy?
Probably Psychonauts 2.
Nord?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Absolutely, that one should have won there.
However, they gave it surprisingly, and they surprised myself, Young, basically the entire internet, and gave it to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. I'm not gonna nitpick over that because it's got a good story too, in my opinion, from what I played of it so far. Anyone else got anything? Because otherwise, if Psychonauts 2 had won, I'd be going, okay, cool. No problem.
Yeah.
And I'm effectively saying the same thing with Marvel's Guardians, so either one for me, effectively. No one got anything else?
Yeah, you're talking about the best narrative game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard for any of the other games to compete with that one because the whole thing is completely narrative driven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you remember what I said when you were playing it in your stream, and my comment in the video there was about how that game could have been absolutely amazing if it were for the characters and voices being different.
Yeah, that's the only thing that takes you out of it.
That game would have been the best game of a generation. If it were
easily
for the character designs and voices. Do
not get any of us wrong. We're not saying that it's as bad to anyone who will watch this later. It's not as bad as the Avengers game. Far from it. It's leagues better.
Yeah.
No, it is. No question about it.
And that's all about the narrative. It really is.
Yeah. But anything to add?
So it really is no surprising for it to win that.
Yeah. Anything to add, Joshy? All right, so after that, we got Best Action Adventure, not to be confused with Best Action Game. God help us. The nominees were Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. This is arguably, at least in my opinion, outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, what the Game of the Year nominees should have looked like. From my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And although I was pleasantly surprised that they had the honesty to give Metroid Dread an award for something after all the bitching and moaning they did about the game and how hard it was.
Yeah, but it didn't win Best Action Adventure. So
yeah, I'm just saying that.
So then
I'm mildly happy with them for doing that because the game is a good game and it deserves a lot more recognition than the whiny babies in the journalist category gave it.
Absolutely no question about it. But the question still needs to be asked because we asked that here Drew at Games of everything, because we question everything, just like we do on Breaking Rocks on the other channel. This is just the gaming version of Breaking Rocks, effectively, for the most part.
Yeah.
But with that said, if did Metroid Dread, considering what other games were nominated, did the right game win? Nord?
Yeah, that's actually debatable. Because Resident Evil's got a really good adventure.
Oh yeah.
And so does Psychonauts too. So I mean that's a really hard question.
So I'd have
been okay if any of them won in that list of nominees. I'd have been okay if any of them won.
If any one of the 5.
Yeah, because they're all good in the adventure.
That's fair. I can't disagree with that. Joshy, what say you, my friend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same thing. That's a really difficult choice for this category. All those games are actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think collectively we're all fine with Metroid Dread winning because we're fine with any one of these 5. So.
Yeah.
Because it's like an even-Steven fight for this category. So after that, we got Best Ongoing Game. Here we go. This is a category that we have as well, that we will be doing when we do ours. So the nominees for Best...
this one kind of disappointed me, by the way. Before you list them.
To a degree, yeah. All of these kind of disappointed me too because, granted, the game that we're probably going to be discussing for this category hasn't released for Xbox yet. So, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
To the point where we don't even have to say it anymore. But of the games that were nominated, we got Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14 Online. We should just say Final Fantasy Online at this point. I don't know why 14 is still there. Fortnite, God help us. Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it went to Final Fantasy Online.
Yeah, Warzone shouldn't even be on the list.
Yeah.
Let me just say.
In my opinion, you should replace Call of Duty Warzone with, I don't know, Among Us.
Yeah, well, I mean, or ESO.
Yeah, I'd be more comfortable with ESO at this point because that actually got something this year that's already out.
Yeah, and it was good.
Indeed. Blackwood is good. I was playing some of it and running from giant fucking mosquitoes in Blackwood. So alone because Desert North didn't have the expansion.
Yeah.
At that point.
But
of everything that was nominated, should Final Fantasy Online have won Best Ongoing Game of these games that were nominated?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
I think it's all right, yeah, but I would have probably picked Apex. Out of all the ones that
I was just thinking that too because on the one hand, I have Final Fantasy Online. I bought it to play with someone who hasn't even been playing it since I bought it. So I haven't actually played it because of it. I don't even have it installed on my PS4 Pro, I think, even at this point. But Fortnite I've played. It led to me banning a 10-year-old on Xbox Live, or blocking them, rather. So I was never going to say that. Did not play Genshin Impact. Didn't play Call of Duty Warzone. I played Apex Legends on launch day, and I played it. I attempted to play it with radio, but the old headset wasn't working properly, so we gave up at that point. Okay, she didn't want me trying to respond to her stream with, like, basically going through the delay of her stream to talk to her. She didn't want that, so I'm like, okay, whatever. At that point, but I still agree with Joshy. I give it to Apex over Final Fantasy at this point.
Yeah.
That's really the only game here that probably would be deserving of best ongoing game of these games. Now, when we go through talking about this category, I'm pretty sure none of these games are even going to be mentioned by us.
Yeah.
Well, Joshy might bring up Apex, right?
Final Fantasy is a good game.
I'm not saying Final Fantasy Online is not a good game. I'm just saying with Apex Legends there, it shouldn't have been the one.
Yeah, Warzone shouldn't have been there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So after that, we got a spot about the Halo TV show trailer.
Yeah.
Coming to Paramount Plus in 2022 at some point. Nord?
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that.
And I bet Joshy's just going to stick to right?
Just that, like with the recent like live action trailers for Halo for the campaign, it's pretty damn woke. And I don't know, this is probably gonna be woke as hell too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, like was they show two other females like their heads and whatnot, though they have the SJW haircut. So just that's probably gonna be woke. So
yeah, you can usually tell.
Indeed. So after that, we get to the third to the last award that I have written down because fuck esports. Unless, fuck awards for it, let's say.
Yeah.
Because no one really cares that much. Unless you know someone who's playing it, then it's good for them that they win money from it. I'll say that much. But with that in mind, next up is most anticipated game. We have several versions of this category coming up for our version of the awards that we're going to be doing right here on this channel, December 31st. Hopefully at some point in the afternoon on New Year's Eve day at that point. But the nominees for anticipated game, according to Jeff Keighley's Video Game Awards, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Starfield. And it went to Elden Ring, which I'm not going to argue with it. Joshy?
Yeah.
Out of all the choices, I say Elden Ring looks by far the best out of all.
Yeah, because we've actually seen gameplay for it. And I mean, actual, what they touted as gameplay for it.
Yeah, it's all about the fact that they revealed.
We've technically seen stylized gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. We've seen just cinematic trailers for God of War. We've seen I think 2 teasers for Breath of the Wild at this point, and effectively 2 cinematic teasers for Starfield. What the hell's a teaser? So yeah,
it's like a trailer and a teaser together.
Yeah, so based on what we have been shown of these games, which is little to nothing, the most we've seen of any of these games is Elden Ring. So of course we're gonna say here at Judaic Games, of these games, it has to be Elden Ring. This doesn't mean that I'm not interested in all 5 of these games, which I am. But based on what we've seen, the one I'm most interested in, which I have pre-ordered digitally for my next-gen Xbox, my Series S, is Elden Ring. So,
yeah, the thing I would say is that it's all because of the recent trailer, which was really great. It's all because of that. The hype skyrocketed. and that's where we're at with the most anticipated. That's why it won, because
Yeah.
it really is at this point.
And I'm slightly out of order with this next category, not just on my sheet, but because I missed it because I was talking to Joshy and Boot in Your Face on Xbox Live last night while watching the event. So Best RPG is where we're going next, which is actually a big deal for, I think, all three of us.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yep.
So, Best RPG. The nominees were Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5,
Yeah. Shin Megami
whatever,
Tensei.
and Tales of Arise. And the winner was Tales of Arise.
Yeah, this is another one where Cyberpunk got completely screwed over.
When we get to our version of talking about what game to give this award to for ours, I don't think any of these games are going to be involved in that discussion because we haven't played any of these.
Yeah, probably not.
Right, Joshy?
Cyberpunk. Yeah, the one I played was take that back. I did try Scarlet Nexus, and
Okay.
it's on the Game Pass.
Okay, well,
Scarlet Nexus looked okay. I only tried a little bit of it though, but I would give it Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk for us was last year, which let me see if I can find what awards we gave to everything because I do feel like recapping that at the end too. Yeah, I got it right here. Everything we did last year right here was right at the front of my binder, so we can recap that at the end. Because Cyberpunk did get some awards for 2020 for us because it came out in 2020. So,
Yeah.
So we covered it last year.
But to be fair, that was just us.
Yeah, but of these games, in my opinion, I feel like in spite of everything, it should have gone Cyberpunk.
And so this was the first time the Cyberpunk had a chance to stand up at the award show and show itself, and it got snubbed everywhere.
Yeah, which is an absolute fucking travesty because it's not as bad as people are making it out to be at this point. But with that in mind, the last thing they had for us was the big award, Game of the Year, as presented by Neil fucking Cuckman, better known to Desert Nord and myself and us here at Drew That Games as Neil Fuckman, because he can go fuck himself. The nominees for Game of the Year, and they played the music for all of them like they do every year. They were Deathloop, It Takes Two, of course, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank, and Resident Evil Village. It should have gone to Resident Evil Village, in my opinion. Guys, whoever wants to chime in first.
Yeah, this is... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's all right. I think it should have went to Resident Evil. As well too.
Nord?
Yeah, this is just further burying us into how overrated It Takes Two is.
Now, my initial reaction was, really, you're going to give it to this game? Now, I appreciate an indie game winning Game of the Year over all the heavyweights that are here. But then as soon as I realized, wait, Joseph Fares is the head of the studio that made this. Now I'm glad that it won because now he gets to be on a mic again. Because I love when Joseph Fares is on a mic. Fuck the Oscars and the Grammys and the Golden Globes and the Game Awards. And actually, I'm going to borrow something from George Carlin and fuck everything now that I think of it.
Yeah, this game was nominated in like 5 categories.
Yeah.
And it won 3 of them.
Yeah.
And the 3 it won were multiplayer game, family game, and game of the year.
Indeed.
So you would think this was like hands down
The best game
the most
of the year.
earth-shattering, revolutionizing game in everybody's household that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
But that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Indeed. So with that,
Like, we barely cared about that game.
so with that,
And it was because that game was like a game, it's like a kid's game.
indeed. So with that in mind, that was this year's Video Game Awards. Us talking about that and some of the latest headlines that have popped up before the award show last night. It was a mixed bag of things. I'll just leave it at that. It was a mixed fucking bag of shit and trail mix. So.
Yeah, and by the way, if I may say, in that family category, it kind of hacked me off even further because you'll never guess what got snubbed in that category,
Which was?
which was Snap.
In the family category?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, you gotta be effing kidding me.
Indeed.
I was like, in the family category, best family game category, Super Mario Party Superstars lost. New Pokemon Snap lost. Super Mario Party 3D World plus Bowser's Fury lost.
Which
And WarioWare Get It Together lost. It Takes Two.
Which I personally in that category, if I had written anything down for that, I would have gone with Super Mario 3D World for my pick for that category.
Any of the other nominees would have been a better choice.
Yeah, well, I was just going off of my enjoyment of playing the ones in that category that I've played, and my favorite from that category is Super Mario 3D World. So, but speaking of Game Awards, to recap 2020 that Desert Nord, myself, and CD did at the time, so that you can understand where we came from last year, Joshy, as well as you guys all watch this later, since no one's here live in the chat right now. I'll end with the game of the year. So I'll start at the bottom. The best sports game, we gave it to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Because there wasn't much going on last year for sports games.
Yeah, the remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I got that.
Best ongoing game, we gave it to No Man's Sky. Game Developer of the Year, we gave it to Sucker Punch for Ghost of Sushi, as Father J, Drug 3PO, calls it.
Yeah, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yeah. The best direction went to Sony for Ghost of Sushi. The best side characters went to Cyberpunk for everybody in it. The worst game went to Madden 21.
Yeah.
Drew's most anticipated game, which it still hasn't come out yet, even through 2021, was Horizon Forbidden West going into 2021. The best character went to Jin from Ghost of Tsushima. Most disappointing game went to... do you want to take a guess, Joshy? At what the most disappointing game, according to us, was last year?
Last year?
Yeah. I got a t-shirt about it from Ryan Kinnell. There's your hint. Last of Us Part 2. Most disappointing, yes.
Yeah, also known as The Last Jedi Part 2.
As Desert Nord started calling it last year, yeah. The best sequel went to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The best replay value went to Dreams. Because Dreams is effectively a game creation engine. Or a creation engine.
I had to mention that I was calling it The Last Jedi of Us Part 2.
Yeah. And I'm glad you did.
It.
And the best new IP, we gave it to Ghost of Tsushima. There's a common theme here, folks. The best multiplayer went to Among Us.
Yep.
The innovative game of the year went to Also Dreams. Because what the developers of that game effectively did was they didn't really release a game. They released a video, music, movie, game creation engine to the public for people to create shit and play. So
and by the way, I think that okay, yeah, never mind. That I do remember, and that was a really good one.
Yeah, and the best score or music went to Dreams. Because you can create your own music in it. Let's see. CD's choice, as he went by another name. He went by his gamer tag, which I hate calling him Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but CD, as I call him these days, his best game was PGA Tour 2K21. And his most anticipated game was MLB The Show 21, going into our current year. Let's see. Nord's choice was Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yep.
And his most anticipated game was also Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, so we did actually have that 2 years running. Okay. I thought we had chosen something different. Never mind. The best RPG, we gave it to Yakuza Like a Dragon. And and Drew's choice for game of the year effectively was Cyberpunk 2077.
And this is where I would point out that our choice of Yakuza Like a Dragon for RPG was only because of how broken Cyberpunk was.
Yeah, otherwise that would have went to Cyberpunk, no questions asked.
Yeah, so we indeed snubbed Cyberpunk.
If
that spot.
If Cyberpunk had been in its current state, then it would have beat Yakuza Like a Dragon with no qualms at this point. But with that said, the game of the year, because nobody voted, because we didn't have much of a community last year, not like we do this year, with an active viewers and whatnot, like Gaming or What, X-Ray Girls now following on Twitch, Minority Home on Twitter, and so on and so forth, and Mara, Joshy, Chunk, Phil, and countless other people like Cowman as well. There's a community here now. So now, instead of us choosing it like last year, you guys will choose it for this year. But last year, we were forced to choose based on what we felt deserved it, based on the fact that the game of the year for 2020, which we wound up picking, led to this channel growing from 34 subs to, at the time, 270 odd some subs, like almost overnight. Because I streamed it a day early because people were questioning the integrity of this channel, calling it fake that I had a physical copy a day early. Not my fault Target sent it early. I did an unboxing for it. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. 90 people popped in to ask me why wasn't I playing this game. And I went because it comes out tomorrow and I would get a copyright strike if I did it. Then I started calling it fake and whatnot. I went, you guys want me to play it? All right, I'll prove that it's real. Knowing full well I was going to get in trouble, which I did. I earned a copyright strike for it. Gained that many subscribers on this channel overnight, just about. Like it was like a 48-hour period, but I consider that to be effectively overnight in the realm of YouTube. And I managed to maintain effectively over 230 subs since on the channel because of this game. So how could this game not be the game of 2020 for Drudat Games? Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yep. Which, in hindsight, is an overrated game.
It is. But given the fact
it wasn't a bad game.
It was not a bad game, but given what it did for my channel, I kind of needed to make it the game of the year because it changed Drudat Games for the better here on YouTube. So effectively, what is the Miles Morales of 2021 for the name of Drudat Games? It's not a game, it's a person. It's Mara Jade. She's the Miles Morales of 2021 for Drudat Games. Because if it weren't for her rating on Twitch, there would not be a community of people interacting with me here. So I owe all of that to Mara. It started with her.
Yeah.
So Mara, like it or not, you are my Miles Morales. God help us all. So with all of that said, Joshy, any comments about last year's awards that we did?
No comment at all. You guys got some excellent choices there.
Yep.
I would have picked the same choices.
So with that in mind, the two games that I picked up earlier today, because they were quite cheap. This one was, in spite of what the sticker says, I scanned it and it said $19.99, so I went fuck it and bought it. This is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare for Xbox One. Kind of wanted to play this for a long time, but I was not going to spend like $30 on a Call of Duty game, though. Yeah, I say that, and I spent like $80 for the next-gen version of Call of Duty to play it on either Xbox One or the Series S. I am a fucking hypocrite. So inside we got game add-on download from Xbox Live Store. So there's a code for something, which I'm not showing you guys because I'm going to do that myself. But here's the game disc, which obviously you need in your fucking case. Bethesda and Fallout 76, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Because when that came out, in the physical thing was a cardboard disc with a code on it. Yeah. So basically, you were buying an empty case with a digital code for the digital game. You were better off just buying the digital game and not keeping an empty case on your shelf. So, I was coughing, but thank you. So, the other game I picked up, it is for the Xbox Series S, but it's also playable on Xbox One because it is effectively forwards compatible or backwards compatible. I don't know what the fuck to call that anymore. Is it backwards or forwards compatible?
I usually say it's backwards compatible.
Yeah, but this disc plays on the Xbox One, and then you pop it into the next gen system. If it has a disk drive, which mine doesn't, it plays the next gen version of it. So it's the Xbox branded version. And I've been playing it from Game Pass already, but I saw this for $15. So I'm like, fuck it. I need to have a physical copy of this because this thing is a potential nominee for the category of best remake or best new port category, which we now have. It's Hades, guys. Yep. Guys, I got a physical copy of Hades for $15 today. Which it says right on the case in gold, earned 50 plus Game of the Year awards. No shit. So let's get this open and see what it looks like inside here on the stream for you guys, and then we'll do our usual bullshitting for like 20 minutes or so, because that'll be about 2 hours for the stream. We got a code for the soundtrack for the game. That's nice. What's this? A poster? No. Oh, it's a book of art and all the characters in the game. That's nice. Here's the main character, and a lot of these characters I have not seen as I haven't played too far through it yet. But this is highly interesting. But yeah, that's actually pretty good, nice stuff in there. And then obviously there's your physical game disc, which you really need to have in a case. Like I said, Fallout 76, fuck off. And Bethesda with Fallout 76 at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah. As much as I like Bethesda, take Fallout 76 and stick it up Todd Howard's ass.
You guys heard about the Cola helmet or something like that? That would they had
Do we call them because of molding them? Yes, I'm well aware of everything that happened with Fallout 76, including the duffel bag incidents, as it's going to be called, and the Nuka-Cola dark rum shit as well.
Yeah.
I followed all of it in real time because I was still in the process of playing the game at the time with I'm just going to use their gamer tag names. Fuck it. Toxic, Prime, and Stalin. Yeah. I know, those are interesting gamer tags. I know, Joshy. I was playing Fallout 76 with Stalin. Did not realize he was still alive. Aha. But anyway, that's it for our regularly scheduled content for the stream. With that in mind, we can briefly discuss some of the things like the categories that, like the newer categories that I've added for the 2021 Drew That Game Awards. So the three that I've recently added are the More Time in the Oven category, which is as it sounds, right?
Yeah.
The best re-release. So a game like Hades would be eligible for it at that point because the Xbox version came out this year. And and finally, Streamer of the Year. That's for us to recognize one another. Now, since I'm the one that came up with this category, obviously I will have to exclude myself from it. And I will have to exclude Desert Nord because he has never streamed in his entire life on any of his stuff.
Yep.
Which means that eligible for it of the three of us is only Joshy. And then anyone that the three of us watch that stream. Those are the people that are eligible for it. If we're part of your community, we're going to be considering you for the Streamer of the Year for 2021, which we're going to try to do every year as well. Because off the top of my head, like several names leap out to me the most of the top streamers as far as I'm concerned are My Nerdy Home, Jade Fire on Twitch and YouTube, for Jade Shadow is her name. On YouTube side, Heel versus Babyface. Gary from nerderotic.com for Friday Night Tights. because technically he's a streamer, even though he doesn't play games. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And just because she is so pleasant to watch, I'm leaning towards radio as a thought as well. So those are the ones that I would put up for it as potential nominees for us to choose between. What about you guys?
I would put Mara, Steph, and Sport.
That's good. Those are them too. Nord?
As far as my favorite YouTubers?
Streamers.
Oh, streamers.
Yeah.
So
So basically anyone that does live streams.
Salty Cracker's probably number one.
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
In the game making category, it's Az for sure.
He's probably a lot of people's favorite just for making YouTube videos alone.
Yeah.
What about Razor Fist? Because he streams too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've watched a lot of his stuff. I just think that, like, Razor's kind of, like, on the line. He's like, yeah, he is a gamer, but that's not his primary strength.
Yeah. His primary stuff is largely what I'm about to do in my chair right now. Spin around and go, fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. That's largely what he does. Spins around in his chair for hours saying, fuck you, I was right. Yeah. That's actually my favorite thing that I've ever seen. Someone made a 10-hour video of him just doing that for 10 hours, just spinning around in his chair, flipping off the camera as he went by, just yelling, fuck you, I was right for 10 hours.
Give me 1 minute, be right back.
All right. But yeah. Otherwise, the next time you'll see me on Twitch, guys, will be tomorrow after work. Probably getting to one of the newer games that has come out to try to get through some of it. However, my intention when I play Halo next is going to be just on Mondays going forward, Master Chief Mondays. So that's my current intention. So on Mondays after work, like in the 11 o'clock a.m. ish Central Time, try to be live playing some Halo Infinite campaign on stream at that point. But beyond that, it's going to be just see what I decide to do when I decide to do it, for the most part outside of that one day. Because largely it's going to be based on when I have the energy to do something for the most part.
Yeah.
Outside of like certain days that I know I'm not going to want to stream on, like Thursday and Fridays effectively, because we're doing this on Fridays already. So I'm already streaming on a platform on Fridays anyway, lately. So I don't want like a Twitch stream like being also on my mind after this, because after this I feel like laying down right now.
All right, back.
Yeah, so I was just saying.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Well, while you were gone, that Mondays going forward is going to be Master Chief Mondays for me, which means I'm going to be playing through Halo campaign on Mondays after work at that point. Otherwise, any other day is just going to be based on what level of energy I have at that point, and if I'm going to do anything at all. And then Fridays is effectively this. So this is the stream you get on Fridays on here. So, and then Breaking Rocks going forward is basically how it's always operated. If we have things that have been festering for a while that we got to talk about, and if it's like more than one thing, then I'll write them all down, then we'll schedule a stream for the next day at that point. Assuming everyone's available at that point on any given day that I decide to do Breaking Rocks. Which reminds me, Nord, for the next Breaking Rocks, I got a request for someone to join us. His gamer tag is Boot in Your Face from Xbox Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he wants to talk about Star Wars and the state of it. So
Yeah, and you also got to shoot a request over to my other friend, but I gotta get that. I gotta make sure he's online when it happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you got to get him in contact with me, so we can get him like situated into like a party chat with us, so he can be on Breaking Rocks. Because I know he likes talking about politics, right?
Yeah, primarily.
Yeah. So that would be like our holy political episode at that point with him.
Yeah.
So with all of that in mind, guys, that's all I think any of us have, right?
Yeah.
So thank you to Gaming or What for being here like at the start of the stream. He disappeared. And then Emily Jefferson was here for like 2 minutes and disappeared, like even before Gaming was here. So well, thank you to both of you for being here earlier. Thank you to all of you who will watch this later. After we've closed down for the day in just a moment here. And with all of that said, what are you guys going to be playing after this or doing after this? If you care to share that information. Halo. Yeah. Nord?
I'm probably be sleeping, but other than that, afterwards, gonna be trying to get more done with the ESO. I've decided to do more with friend groups there. It's getting kind of interesting, so.
Yeah. In my case, I am going to, after I click end stream here, I am going to go to the bathroom, and then I'll see what happens from there. And that's all I'm going to say. So with all of
Don't
that,
get flushed down the toilet.
I don't work for Lucasfilm, so that's not going to happen. We'll see you guys in the next one, and God bless the family of Demarius Thomas, and we will see you guys next week for this if you don't see us around the community. Have yourselves a great day, and may the force be with us, because we need it.
See you guys.
Yep, later.